Do you like me tan? It's marvellous, isn't it? Oh, I love it here. Don't I, Rock? That's Rock. We met the first Ergos here. Well, I didn't want to go down on the beach at first, you see. Thought I'd get myself a bit of a tan before I ventured onto the beach because, let's face it, I was so white. If I'd have walked onto that beach the first day I got here, they'd have thought I'd just had a fresh coat of white emulsion. There was more glare coming off me than coming off the sun. So, what I did was, I found this little place, and I found you, didn't I, Rock? And I talked to you. Yeah, Rock. Got his name written all the way through him. Because I talk to Rock, but he doesn't talk back to me. Well, he can't, can he? Well, it's a Greek, Rock. He doesn't understand the bleeding words I'm saying. I might have ventured onto the beach, you know, that I've been with Jane, but on my own, I felt a bit conspicuous. Well, Jane met a fella, didn't she? Not here, on the plane. Honest to God, and the state of him, I wouldn't have given you tuppence at all. Sporty type, you know, all groin and Adidas labels. Designer teeth he had, and bloodshot eyes. You know, when he smiled with these blazing white teeth and the bloodshot eyes, I said to Jane, oh, he must be a Liverpool supporter. She didn't like that. I didn't care. I got past caring, to tell you the truth. I mean, we were going to do everything together. We hadn't even landed, she got herself fixed up. Jenny went to the loo. When she came back, she said, I've just been invited out for dinner tonight. Pardon? I said. Yes, she said, I've just met this chap sitting up the back, and he's staying at a villa on the other side of the island, and he's invited me over for dinner tonight. Oh, you don't mind, do you, Shirley? Well, I didn't say anything. There was nothing I could say, was there? So I just stared out the window of the plane, and I thought to myself, do you know, if I had a parachute, I'd get off now. I even considered getting off without a parachute, actually. Oh, of course, she's going. Oh, it would just be for tonight. I mean, we'll still do all the things we planned, Shirley. But I knew. The instincts told me I'd hardly see it again after that. Anyway, I didn't want her spending time with me when she'd rather be elsewhere. I didn't want her pitying me. Listen, Jane, I said. I think you're probably blowing the Feminist of the Year award. So just leave it out, right? Obviously, I said to her, obviously, it's been a very difficult time for you since your husband ran off with the milkman. But now you've got this opportunity, I don't want you to even give a thought to me. You go off to his villa and enjoy yourself, and give his olives a good pressing. You know what she said to me? Thanks for being so understanding. And she never came back that night, you know. Or the next morning. She never came back for the first 4 days. They must have been marvellous olives. I was left on my own. I was alone, but I wasn't lonely. Well, I'm an expert at it, really. But what I found was, when you're a woman alone, it doesn't half seem to upset people. Like, whenever I walked into the dining room at the hotel, it was like everyone in the restaurant was staring at me. I've got this little table to myself, and it's lovely, you know. I just love sitting there in the evenings. Well, on the third day, I'm sitting there at my table. I've been sunbathing all day, and I'm glowing like a lobster, and I'm feeling dead content and quiet. Well, I was in such a trance, I never even noticed this woman come across. She was talking to me before I even realised she was there. We couldn't help noticing you were alone, dear, she said to me. Would you like to come and join us at our table? We have got a spare place. Well, I was shattered. I mean, I didn't want to join anyone, you know, I didn't want to talk. I wanted to be quiet. But the woman standing there waiting for me to say something, and then I realised the whole of the restaurant was waiting to see what would happen to the woman on her own. Well, I couldn't say no, could I? I mean, the woman was only being kind, wasn't she? Oh, but inside, I was cursing. But I sat down at their table with their husband. It was like the whole of the restaurant let out this sigh of relief. You know, as if me being on my own had been a great problem to everyone, and now it had been solved, everyone Dougie. Jeanette and Dougie Walsh from Manchester. Well, I know the exact dimensions of her kitchen. The price of a new extension, the colour of the microwave, and the contents of the Hoover. And we hadn't even started the first course. It's a good job it wasn't soup, but I put my head in it and drowned myself. Wasn't until we got to the main course that they even acknowledged we were in Greece. Then I wish they hadn't bothered. I mean, everything was wrong, you know. Sun was too hot for them, sea was too wet for them, Greece was too Greek for them. They were that type, you know. They'd been at the Last Supper, they would have asked for chips. I wouldn't mind, but this family on the next table joined in and started complaining about everything. And I was sitting there, dead embarrassed out my mind, because this poor Greek waiter's trying to serve our main course. He's got to listen to this lot going on about his country like it's in the fourth world. Well, this fella says to Dougie, have you not seen bloody fishing boats about there in bay? Have you not seen them? Have you not seen? Bloody hell, what they like? Says to his wife, what did I say to you with the southern boats in bay? I said to her, I said, see them boats? If you're good time and find name a boat builder, I'll lay you pound to a penny. It says Noah. I bloody did that, didn't I? I was so embarrassed I couldn't keep my mouth shut any longer. And I said, this fella, excuse me, you do watch the Olympic Games, I take it. And you do know, I suppose, it was the Greeks who invented the Olympic Games. They're all staring at me. Oh, yes, I said, yes. And it was the Greeks who were responsible for the most important invention of all, the wheel. Of course, I didn't know it had been invented by the Greeks, the Irish, or the cavemen. But I didn't care. Once I opened my mouth, there was no stopping me. And I heard myself saying to this fella, the English, don't talk to me about the English. I mean, while the Greeks were building roads and cities and temples, what were the English doing? I'll tell you what the English were doing. They were running round in loincloths and ploughing up the earth with the arse bone of a giraffe.